Hi, and thank you for joining me for another video. And friends, today I'm making this video to speak to you about a very, very important issue. And that's regarding the tragic fact that the majority of people who call themselves Jewish or belonging to the Jewish religion nowadays vote for a political party that represents the antithesis of what our Torah stands for. And friends, it's not a secret that the party I'm speaking to you about is the Democrat Party. And I know that many people hearing me today who either do not associate with Jews or live in non-metropolitan areas actually find this hard to believe. And honestly, can you blame them? Why? Because anyone who thinks of Israel, of biblical Israel, knows that they are above all other nations, or supposed to be above all other nations ethically. Heck, they were the ones who received Hashem's will in an instructional form on Mount Sinai. How could they go astray? Actually, the average for the last presidential election stated that around 80% of Jews voted for Obama, and about the same amount voted for Clinton and even Kerry. Not to mention that they're the biggest supporters of Planned Parenthood and virtually every vile anti-Torah organization that exists in the world today. And friends, it really hurts me to have to say this, to the point that terms such as secular and irreligious and left-wing has almost become synonymous with the word Jew. And for those who are thinking that I should just shut up and do nothing while our name, and worse, the name of the Almighty, is dragged through the mud, my friends, are just people not living in reality. Why? Because, my friends, by ignoring it, it will not go away. Actually, every time you label someone a Jew who does not keep or encourage others to keep Torah, all you're doing is taking Hashem's name in vain. Why? Because his name resides in the word Yehudi. So friends, it's time to wake up and just stop for a minute and find out, truly find out what the Democrat Party believes and fights for on a daily basis, and ask yourself, does our Torah condone this? And if I call myself a Torah Jew, should I vote for a party that also condones this? Friends, from abortion as a form of birth control, the degendering of our children, the removal of prayer from schools. And no, my friends, the school prayer, when it was removed, made no mention of Christianity. The removal of the 10 Commandments from our courts, radical feminism, homosexual marriage, the redistribution of wealth, the encouragement of the homosexual lifestyle, while at the same time warring against gay reparative counseling, the war against homeschooling, and friends, the list goes on and on. I mean, actually, if the religious world in America is for it, you could pretty much guess that the Democrats are most likely against it. Look, my friend, political parties aside, it would be nonsensical to call yourself a Torah believer and follow non-Torah causes, no matter which side it comes from. So, I know you're probably wondering, how did it become that most Jews vote for the most irreligious parties? And friends, this is really the result of Kabbalistic Judaism's new idea of assuming that one is still socially considered a Jew based on blood alone and not actions. And friends, I have to tell you that no other notion has been as responsible for the shedding of Jewish blood in the last 1,000 years than this one. And one doesn't even have to go back that far. You could see that in the last century, where because of secular Jewish communism, the majority of Europe's religious community was annihilated, where even the Hafetz, foreseeing the disaster to come, encouraged his students to fight them, these secular Jewish communists, to fight them in the streets. And also, however, the last 70 years, religious Jews in the Middle East have been persecuted and murdered because of secular Zionism. And these aren't just my ideas, but even the late, great Rabbi Yochanan Wasserman wrote in his Epic of Mashiach that the reason the Holocaust occurred was embodied in our enemy's title, in the word Nazi, National Socialist. In other words, Jewish nationalism and Jewish socialism, aka communism. And friends, I'll say it again, our problem is not with Torah, but rather with people masquerading as Jews when, you know what, I'm sorry, my friends, they really are not. Which ultimately results in those who are outwardly Jewish dying for the sins of the secular. Now, what do I mean when I say that a secular Jew is not a Jew? Now, this is the halacha, in case anyone wants to challenge it. Look, here's what I mean. I mean that if someone high-handedly violates or endorses others who violate Torah principles deliberately over and over again, knowing that the Torah is against it, this individual, according to halacha, is in all matters a non-Jew and thus should be treated and represented to the rest of the world in that manner. In other words, it's how it states in Torah that he has broken the Brit, the covenant with the Almighty. Now, this doesn't mean that Hashem does not consider him liable. And this is where I think the majority of individuals today get confused. They think that because the Almighty expects more of them than, let's say, a Gentile who doesn't know any better, and we even judge this individual against the Torah, the 613 mitzvot, that in some way this still means that he's chosen in the covenant, special, or whatever being Jewish means to you. Not at all. And the only reason he's still liable for not keeping the mitzvot while a non-Jew isn't is because this person knows better. In other words, he has already accepted the Torah and then has come to reject it. However, if someone who happens to be born of Jewish parents, who knows nothing about Torah and really knows nothing about Torah, Judaism, this person is still, according to halacha, not considered in all halachic purposes a Jew. As a matter of fact, according to halacha, he has a status of what's called a tinok shenishba, of one who was like he was kidnapped as a child, which only means that he would not be liable of breaking commands that he does not know about, and not that he would still be a Jew. And really, the only difference between him and a non-Jew is that when he comes to Torah, he won't be made to convert. And friends, the last example is someone who is a Torah observer and may be either confused on an issue and continues to vote for irreligious causes. Now, this person is still fully halachically a Jew, but may just be acting foolishly, which in my opinion is not the case with the majority of Jewish Democrats today, especially with whole Jewish groups such as the Reform movement devoting their whole existence to the party's immoral causes. And for those thinking that it's just a U.S. problem, did you know that in Israel, issues such as abortion and gay rights are never even mentioned by candidates when they're running? Why? Because it's a given that if you're Jewish, you support it or don't care. And friends, have you ever heard the saying, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are? Well, let's talk about the friends of the Democrat Party. Whether it's the porn industry, virtually every gay organization, Hollywood, the rap industry, NAMBLA, which stands for the North American Man-Boy Love Association, the atheistical elite, Planned Parenthood, which has spearheaded the abortion genocide in the last few decades, socialists from Castro to Chavez, illegal aliens, ACLU, MTV, heck, even Bin Laden stated when he was alive that if the country voted Republican, he would attack it again. Torah Jews, wake up and realize that you can't call yourself Jewish and vote this way. And please don't think that we believe that the right in this country can't do no wrong, but rather we're forced to vote for the right, mainly because it's the less religiously damaging side of the spectrum. And not even the Democrat Party denies it, but actually embraces the denial of God as a tenet of their group's doctrine. Heck, just turn on your TV and see for yourself which side constantly attacks religious freedoms and values in this country. And my friends, it's not the right. And you're probably thinking, Asher, the left really can't be that anti-Torah. I mean, heck, they're labeled as the party of compassion. And friends, the only way they get themselves labeled like this is by misleading the public, by controlling the media, and also by misinterpreting biblical values. For example, the way they claim to help the poor is by the forceful redistribution of people's income to support virtually only projects that they support. And the way they encourage women's health is by allowing mothers of any age to kill their unborn babies for any reason. And the way they support the family is by allowing left-wing courts to redefine it, and marriage also. So friends, compassion without standards, it's really just an excuse for immorality, plain and simple. And you're probably wondering, where are all the religious right-wing Jews in all this? And friends, the main reason why right-wing parties don't see many Jewish votes is because many Jews who hold right-wing values do not vote, mainly because they erroneously feel that they have no religious obligation to do so, when common sense would tell you that if we have a religious obligation to be a positive influence to the world, what better way to really affect ethical change in our society than by voting what we believe? So friends, I'm here telling you today that if you believe in and live Torah, vote it. Thank you.